Donald Trump's latest tariffs have sparked significant controversy. Are they part of God's divine plan to reshape America, or could they lead to an economic disaster? Some see Trump as a leader who is anointed for this time, like King Cyrus in the Bible. Others argue that his policies are driven more by politics than prophecy. Today, we'll examine scripture, history, and current events to uncover the truth behind Trump's leadership and economic decisions. The idea that God can choose a political leader isn't new. Throughout history, rulers have risen to power, leaving a trail of massive economic, social, and spiritual shifts in their wake. Whether through divine intervention or simply historical momentum, these leaders have shaped the destiny of nations. Some view Trump's tariffs as a modern-day example of this, protecting American industries, securing economic independence, and fulfilling a nationalistic vision. But others fear such moves could backfire, leading to economic instability, trade wars, and financial hardship for those who support him. So, what does the Bible say? Can economic policies be a sign of divine influence? Are these tariffs part of a more excellent plan, or are they another move in the political chess game? We'll explore all angles, from biblical prophecy to modern-day economic trends, to see if Trump's actions align with historical patterns of God-ordained leadership, or if this is just another chapter in human political maneuvering. Stay tuned, because what you learn may change your view of God's role in today's world. The idea of God choosing leaders isn't new. Throughout history, God has used righteous and flawed rulers to accomplish his will. Some believe Trump fits this pattern, pointing to his policies, rise to power, and even his economic decisions as signs of divine intervention. But does Scripture support this claim? Does God truly call Trump, or is this just a political narrative? Let's break it down. We must explore historical contexts, biblical patterns, and theological perspectives to understand this truly. This isn't about taking sides, it's about uncovering the truth with an open heart and mind. Economic policies have shaped nations throughout the Bible. How do they compare to today's tariffs? The Bible provides multiple examples of leaders who made economic decisions that impacted their nations for better or worse. Joseph's economic strategy in Egypt, Genesis 41:33-57, under divine guidance, Joseph advised Pharaoh to impose economic policies that saved Egypt from a devastating famine. He implemented a grain storage system during 7 years of plenty to sustain the nation in hardship. Some argue that Trump's tariffs, aimed at strengthening domestic industries, mirror the idea of preparing a nation for self-sufficiency. However, others say that unlike Joseph's plan, which was divinely inspired and ensured survival, tariffs could instead create hardship. King Solomon's wealth and heavy taxation, 1 Kings 10:14-25, 1 Kings 12:1-19, Solomon accumulated great wealth through trade and heavy taxation. However, his policies eventually led to widespread dissatisfaction, causing the kingdom to split after his death. The debate on Trump's tariffs raises a similar concern. While they may provide short-term benefits, will they lead to long-term economic or political divisions? Nehemiah's economic reforms, Nehemiah 5:1-13. When Nehemiah saw his people suffering under heavy taxation and economic oppression, he implemented policies that protected the poor and ensured fair financial practices. His leadership prioritized justice over economic gain. The question remains, do Trump's tariffs align with a just monetary policy, or do they place unnecessary burdens on the lower-income population? Not everyone believes Trump is God's chosen one. Here's why. While some see divine purpose, others argue, many question whether Trump's character aligns with biblical leadership. Critics argue that his recent imposition of tariffs such as the 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% tariff on China, could lead to economic instability and trade wars affecting millions. This situation mirrors the biblical account of King Solomon, who imposed heavy taxes and labor demands on his people to fund his ambitious building projects, including the temple. While his reign was initially prosperous, these burdens eventually led to public dissent and the division of the kingdom after his death. Could Trump's economic policies have a similar long-term effect, and how does this align with biblical governance principles? Some have perceived President Trump's assertive approach and emphasis on national interests as prioritizing self-promotion over humility. In the Bible, leaders are often called to serve with humility. For instance, Moses, despite his significant role, is described as very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. Numbers 12:3. Jesus himself exemplified humility, washing his disciples' feet as an act of servitude. The contrast between Trump's leadership style and the biblical ideal of humility raises questions about the qualities of a divinely chosen leader. Does being chosen by God necessitate an attitude of servanthood, or can God use bold, unapologetic figures as well? Implementing tariffs can be seen as a strategic move to strengthen domestic industries and appeal to certain voter bases. However, such actions may also be viewed as political manipulation, leveraging economic policies for personal or political gain. This is reminiscent of the Pharisees in the New Testament, who imposed strict interpretations of the law to maintain their authority, often at the expense of justice and mercy. Jesus criticized them, saying, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give 1/10 of your spices, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness." Matthew 23:23. The Bible consistently shows us that God can use imperfect people for his divine plans. King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 4:28-37, a prideful king who God humbled, yet his reign was part of God's more excellent plan for Babylon. Paul, Acts 9:1-22. Once a persecutor of Christians, he became one of the greatest apostles, proving that transformation is always possible. Cyrus the Great, Isaiah 45:1-4, a pagan king who played a key role in fulfilling God's will for Israel's restoration. Like these leaders, Trump is imperfect. But does that mean he cannot be used for God's purposes? Believers must wrestle with this question. The debate about whether Trump's tariffs are part of God's plan will continue. But one thing is sure, our faith should always come before politics. What do you think? Are Trump's policies fulfilling biblical prophecy, or are they simply economic decisions? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more biblical insights. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.